where we revisited the code coverage metrics on managed React applications. So this doesn't cover all the cases. The only thing we actually addressed was a managed app, which is one thing, right? There are many other use cases. But I think that the next natural step for us is to set this up on a continuous integration server or a tool, and the tool that we will be using is Semaphore. And there are a few gotchas here. First of all, we are updating to Cypress 10. We're going to use Semaphore 2.0, which has a slightly different interface. It's been around for a while, so we feel kind of confident to use Semaphore 2.0. But also this thing with Cypress 10, where we are supposed to run all the tests, even in the CI run in the headless mode, right? So we're probably gonna stumble a little bit on that. And the last thing, but not least, we are a little hard on time. So we're actually gonna have to press on and try to stick to 45-50 minutes, something like that. But Max, since you are so hot on the case, I think we will let you do this.
Oh, suit yourself.
Well, today my fingers are resting.
Yeah, rest your fingers. I'll let you in at the end so you can get the glory. All right. I'll pop over to my screen.
Absolutely.
Great. So here we were. This is where we left off. Now we're going to do a couple of things. We're gonna run CI on Semaphore CI, continuous integration on Semaphore CI, but we are going to push our code coverage report to CodeClimate. So I'm going to start off on CodeClimate.com. Hopefully I won't burn any of my passwords, but we'll be okay. I have an account here. Accounts are free. The one we want, I believe, is quality or is it velocity? I forget.
Quality, yeah.
It sounds like quality, right? So you you can sign up with GitHub if you have an account. This is looking like they've changed this. All right, so this is the screen. Once you're logged into quality, you see this. You can start a 14-day free trial, but you're not interested in this. You're interested in open source, right? Because it's free. Now we might, I think the repo we're working in is open.
It is. We should be good.
And it's called employee something.
It's called employee list on Craft Academy Labs.
Yeah, so I may need to, well, so I'll add a repository. It didn't automatically pop up, so sometimes you got to be a little bit extra. And sometimes, let's see, first of all, what we get here. Come on, little guy. Here we go. So I'm just going to do a manual search here for employee list in Craft Academy Labs. Here it is. Add repo. Please wait. Okay. So it clones it. It looks a little thin. It looks around. It does its thing. It does its thing, and we get congratulated by clicking that button. So we like that. We look at the results. It's already giving us a maintainability score of 1 hour, but we have to refactor some things. We got some technical debt. We have no test coverage. We want test coverage, and I'm going to leave this little thing open. But the point here is that if you go into the repo settings and you go into test coverage, and I'm going to expose this key now, but it's just an ID, so we'll live with that. But we get this test reporter ID key, which you can regenerate if you're like me and you live stream the key in question. So that's all we want to do with CodeClimate for now, leaving this open and heading over to SeMaphoreCI.com. And I want to log in because I already have an account. Otherwise, you can sign up with and now's the question, Should I use my own? This is annoying. You can't
Yeah.
really, you can't leave this, and you can't. But
Use
you
the
know,
Craft Academy one.
let's try for that,
yeah.
because that's good. So pretty quiet. That's fine. We want to create a new project. So I click on Create New up in the corner. I'll make this a bit bigger. We know what we're doing, sort of. So let's do that, meaning that we can choose something from GitHub. Let's look at what we have. So I'll look here and see if it pops up here instead. Hang on 1 second.
And for our viewers, I just linked to CodeClimate and to Semaphore CI in the chat. We're not endorsed by these services, but they do provide free tiers for open source projects. So if you want to learn about these tools or about continuous integration and adding test coverage and quality measurements, these are good tools to start.
And nota bene now, on the GitHub app, I didn't find my Craft Academy Labs employee list. I switched over to my personal token, and there it is. So I can choose that. It's going to do a little bit of initialization. But we need to do some configuration. So not so much coding this time, configuration. Right, we can add some people. I won't right now. But right, we can choose here some templates, excuse me. And the closest one is probably this Node.js, because there's nothing special for React. So let's just do Node.js. But I don't, and it sort of summarizes what it's going to do in its run. But we don't trust it. We're not going to say, look, good starts. We're going to customize it. And there are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, because we want to do different things here in the job. But we also really want to deal with the branches very carefully. And we may have to merge in our test coverage into main, just so you know, Thomas.
Yeah. We usually just leave this name of the block to test, but you can actually give it a name. Like I struggled with this because I can't really figure out
the thing I'm worried about is here. When you set to run the workflow, it's going to branch off from main, calling it setup semaphore. If your git foo is very good, which ours is, no problem. We can merge it all together. But if you're a little shaky, make your life easy. Call it setup semaphore, but make sure it's going to branch off from your main branch, your default branch.
Yeah, but so there's a problem with this now, because we haven't merged the
exactly
the branch we worked on previous stream. Yeah. So I wonder if you could actually set the name of that branch here, so we continue to push up to that particular branch. Do you understand?
Yeah, maybe.
And that was called something. What was it called?
Coverage metrics, but I can't remember if it was dash or underscore.
No.
But I can find out. It's underscore.
It's underscore, right.
Before we do that, we need to change a little bit the commands here. Now, again, I don't memorize these things.
Let's have a look. I think I have some notes. I have some notes on this.
Yeah.
So what we want to do, let's see. So
I think we need to tell it, we can use later than node 12. But we have
right. So so we do checkout first. You have that, and you can set node version 12. You probably can change that to 16 or something.
Yeah.
And then we're doing cache restore and npm install.
Yeah, because we are not using.
So so you want to add cache restore.
I think there's a command here from CodeClimate. Now, what I'm grabbing is from the documentation, and it's too long for me to type out on a stream. So here's a command I just pasted in. It's a CURL or curl. to CodeClimate, which grabs something called cc-test-reporter. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to run it, or rather to, I forget what I should
Yeah,
actually
this
call
one
this.
changes the right permissions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then we have a few commands. So the 3 lines I'm copy pasting in, which of course you shouldn't do, but is from CodeClimate's documentation and how to deal. They have a special section on how to deal with Semaphore CI.
Yeah.
But well, okay, we don't need to run npm. What we do need to run is yarn install.
Mm-hmm.
And what we also want to run is a yarn Cypress CI. And you'll say, wait a minute, I saw your package JSON in the last stream. There was no Cypress CI, and you're absolutely correct. There is none yet. But we will add it. We will add it. Let's finish editing this, though, because we need to tell Semaphore to do a few things after the fact. And I'm getting these also from the CodeClimate documentation. But basically, after you've run the yarn Cypress CI, then format the coverage with this track and lcov command. If you were paying attention, you probably saw that we have some lcov reports already generating. So that's great. And we want to give it an exit code of 0 if everything goes good, and an exit code of 1 if everything goes awry. So, right, these are commands that we're passing into the CC test reporter. All right, well, we need to do one more thing, which is that, is it in secrets? No, it's in environmental variables. We want to add one. And we want to call it, what do we want to call it? CC test reporter ID, is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, with all caps, right?
CC test reporter ID. And now I left this tab open for a reason so that I can just go over here, copy this, boom, 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 and paste it in here. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied. I'm pretty satisfied. Now, if I run this now, which I will, we'll call it, it's not really update, it's create, in my opinion.
Right.
We're targeting this. No, see, it defaulted again to set up Semaphore, but we want
but you
to
know what?
use.
Hold on a second now. You know what?
Yeah.
Why don't we hold off this for a minute, and you actually go back to your code first, and you set up the Semaphore CI script.
You are not wrong. You're not wrong. Let me
I think this might be a better flow, actually.
Okay, so here we go.
We just copy line 25, right? We duplicate line 25.
Yeah.
And we just change it to cool on CI.
Add a little CI there. And now we already have Cypress run.
Right.
Do we need, yeah.
I think we do. You know what? I think, well, perhaps not in this case, we don't. But you remember we added this browser Chrome last time because there was some permission things going on. We might probably get by without it in this much simpler setup. Yeah, so you can,
let's try without. If we run into trouble, we'll remember this conversation, hopefully. And, we'll see.
Right.
But, okay, and then I need to actually go into my terminal, right? Because
you need to push up, right?
It's unite-am and say adds Cypress CI script. And I'll push that up right away. Git push origin coverage metrics. Okay, now let's head over to here and say, hey, Semaphore, don't create a new branch. Make a commit to coverage metrics with this new setup. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have things misconfigured, oh, look, it's already, excuse me.
Right, let's see if this actually runs.
It's running, and it's giving us a nice little printout of what it's trying to do. Bum, 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 bum.
And he does the curl
It's looking very
commands.
promising.
Yeah. So far, so good.
So far, so good. It's installed the test reporter, and now it's running yarn install, which it's grabbing all our dependencies. That will probably take a little while. I think you can you expand this? No,
Yeah, I
you
think
cannot.
you can.
Oh, yes, you can.
And never underestimate these folks. Whoever is watching this, that looking at these
So
logs
useful.
is really, really good, because
Yeah.
if the shit hits the fan, you will know what's going on. And for
Yeah.
our Twitch users, I'm just going to run this 1 minute break now while this is installing, because this might take a sec. So let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
This is always taking a bit
We
of
got
time.
a little compiled successfully, I think.
Right.
And now the big test, Cypress 10.
It runs
Ooh.
everything.
It runs all. Is it going to run the other ones as well?
I think it will.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I should have set video to false, but whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, so the video to false, but also excluding the all. I mean everything about pot all.
Okay, you're going to have to talk me through that in a second. Yeah. But most importantly, look, here is what I want to see: test report uploaded successfully to CodeClimate,
Hold
not
on
just
second,
the zero.
We're just gonna
because
wait
sometimes,
We're just gonna wait in our Twitch audience.
Sorry.
All right. So for those of you who are watching this on Twitch, we're just back, and we successfully installed yarn. Installed all dependencies using yarn, and we run CI run. There's a small tweak that we're gonna have to add later, but our tests did pass. And at the very bottom, line 275, we got a message saying that test report upload successfully to CodeClimate. That's good.
Let's see if that's actually true. So we head over to CodeClimate. Let's go into the overview. And this might take a minute. So we're not getting anything on test coverage yet, because CodeClimate is building from main, okay? And
so we would have to.
I haven't figured out how to. Well, there is a default branch zone here.
Yeah, let's change that to code coverage, code underscore coverage. And again, just to explain, usually you wouldn't do that because you want to run your test quality on your main branch. But since we're just experimenting, we can play around a little bit with this.
Let's try this.
Right. The question is.
Okay. Oh, but now it's finding the create Semaphore configuration, so that's good. So it's doing its own little thing. We may need to rerun the CI.
Could be, but there's an interface for that to rerun those, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So this didn't automatically take me to the overview. That's annoying. Okay. Oh,
there we go.
There we go. So that was nice. So one thing to look at is not just test coverage on this CodeClimate platform. You can do the same thing we did on our machines. You can go into the code and you can see where 90%, right? So you go into this component, and very similar, you have to go into source. You should see now it's
well, you have to mark this. There's a checkbox on the coverage thing.
Boing. There we go. Oh, and it's nice and highlighted, so you really see directly what you're not testing.
Right.
Good stuff.
It is.
And it should also be noted that if I go back to GitHub and I go into this employee list repo, there is, of course, now in our coverage metrics branch a commit that it looks like I made it, but this was made by Semaphore, so this is not on my local host. I need to pull this down, basically. or I'm going to get some merge conflict. So that's just a little gotcha. But we have a problem, right? We run the tests several times.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that.
Right. So let's switch back to my screen for a second.
Yeah, let's switch to you.
We're gonna let you do this. But what our anonymous friend, I don't know. Well, he actually has a name.
Gleb is the man. He solves all issues.
Yeah, and he's a PhD.
Yeah, but yeah. He's in the core team. Like he's the real deal.
Oh, he's the real deal. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's not just like us. He's
okay. He's a okay. Well,
but he will solve your problem, even if we'll see how it works in this instance.
So what we are doing here is, if we go into the configuration file, what happens here is that he has, apart from the base URL, right? He has this exclude spec pattern. And if the process env is CI, which it isn't in our case yet, because we would have to set that environmental variable in our Semaphore CI, Cypress CI script. But we can set that CI to true, right? Yeah. And if it is, then we simply exclude the all.js, right? He's using a ternary here. Yeah, well, you probably have to do that because you can't pass in an empty value. So because I was thinking about this simpler ternary with the end sign. But anyway, so you either pass in an empty array or you tell it to exclude the all CY thing, right? So apparently it looks like this problem with just being able to run one spec at a time is a problem with the headful runner
rather than the headless.
Right. Yeah, and in headless you don't do that. So let's switch over to you, and you just go to your code and to that
here I am.
Cypress config, and after line 10 you just say exclude spec pattern. There you go. And you just ask the question if this is a process env CI. With capital CI. So because it's an env variable, so we want to. Right, and then you just say you exclude Cypress /e2e /all CY.js.
Oh, right. Cypress e2e /all.
Right,
and if not that,
then you just pass in an empty array. Okay, so the question here is, I think that the CI variable, there are two ways, in my opinion, we could do this. We could go into the package JSON and just say on the Cypress CI, you just say CI equals true. That's one way of doing that. But we might also do this directly on Semaphore CI, where you set the env variables. Where you set up the test coverage variable.
Yeah. So here we go. Let's go back to the workflow and look at what we got.
But the question is, I don't know which one is better, to be honest. You could add it right here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If you do it here, then you have to push up your change first.
Yeah.
And then this one. Or if we want to make it a little simpler for us, we can just set it on the script, because then you only have to push up once.
Let's set it on the script just in case we decide to experiment with Google with the GitHub workflows or Circle CI or whatever.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will.
Yeah. I agree.
So what I would say then to begin is just true, or does it need to have
CI true? Right. Or or sometimes it's enough if you just say CI. I don't know. Let's do it like this first.
So I need to commit this first of all.
Yeah.
Git CI-am CI for commit, not for continuous integration. Adds CI and variable and modifies CI script. Okay, git push. Oh no, wait, I didn't pull down. Shoot. I needed to pull down the coverage metrics.
So you probably need to just do git
reset,
yeah,
right?
because
Or
it will create no, you don't, no, don't just put it down. It will create a merge commit, I guess. Let's see what happens. I would pull it down from origin.
Yeah, no, so divergent branches. We can rebase them.
Right. Yeah.
We could do one of these.
Yeah. Or just reset back one, because you already committed, right? So you can't stash it.
I did, yeah. Well, I'll do a ref log. And what I need to do is a git reset
to the.
Can I just say
2A 4D?
Wait, to just
no,
to this one, right?
No, to 9687, right?
Or no, because this one is the regular CI script that we just had. So
yeah. So 8.1. But yeah, you can do a soft release, soft reset. Then you can stash it.
Yeah. But can't I just do?
You don't have to do this. Well, yeah, but then you don't tell it if it's soft or hard. Oh, that's okay.
But it's soft.
Yeah, now you can stash. Yeah. It defaults.
So I'll do a git stash, and then I'll do git pull origin coverage metrics.
And you should be good. And now you can just stash pop it. Stash pop.
It's stash pop. It's not just
right. Yeah. And now you should be good. Yeah, good job.
Yeah. Good job. Git status. So git CI-am. Or you know what? Let's do a git log -- one line, just so I'm not. So I'm not making things worse, and we confirm, yeah, create Semaphore. Okay, great. So git CI-am, and now we, adds CI variable and edits CI script. And now if I do git push origin coverage metrics, we should have triggered yeah, I didn't make any changes. We should have triggered a new build, and
interesting. Let's see what it says.
Let's look, because so it's what's taking a little while is the yarn install. Once that's done and it's running yarn Cypress CY, we're going to expand that and see how many tests are being run.
Right. And in the meantime, what you could do is to run CI. If you do yarn Cypress CI on your local, that should actually do the same thing.
Let me do that. Cypress CI.
Right.
My machine will race against the machines in the cloud.
Because what we want to see is that if it actually returns some sort of an error, with that config, even though we fully trust gleb, but still,
Well, now it's running in the background here, and on Electron headless display employee, user can display. Yeah, it skipped it.
It skipped it. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and did it not work on my local machine? We'll see in a second. But more importantly, test report uploaded successfully to CodeClimate. We like. And now it's doing a Cypress run here. Curiosity killed the cat. We'll crash and burn. No, I'm kidding. It's gonna go great. It's gonna go great.
Of course, it's gonna go great.
Okay, let's see. It's starting the run. Also on Electron 100. using Node 16. Look, specs to found. Yeah, so it completely ignores it. So glad everything is forgiven. Yeah, you clearly know the hack, but it would be nice to not have to do that.
Yeah.
But
then again, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is what it is. And if the workaround works, then it works.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's one extra command to add.
I know. I shouldn't whine. And then I go back to CodeClimate, and I don't think there's going to be any change here. There is 95%, right? Because
we were on 95 before too, right?
No, we were on 90%. We were on 95 locally, but we only got to 90% because we're basically
running the test twice.
We're running it twice, and so that 5% becomes 10%.
Right. Of course.
I guess, which is neat because now we look even better in the eyes of our bosses. But interestingly, it says
let me show you that refactoring. Show me that refactoring. What do they complain about? There's a 1 hour refactoring time. Just scroll down on employee something.
I go into code maybe, and here's the 1 hour. So go into employee list, and total one issue. It has 30 lines of code instead of 25 allowed.
Oh, okay.
They are brutal. They're brutal.
Yeah.
5 lines.
Yeah.
1 hour. 1 hour.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean,
what's your hourly rate?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, exactly. But sometimes to simplify code, to extract things so that you don't need to have.
Yeah, it's interesting that it doesn't count the imports in the lines of code. Notice that? Because this file is 43 lines of code.
But the function is 30, right?
Yeah. Employee list is actually from 6 to.
Okay, so here's the deal. That we can also ignore that setting because React components are functions, and functions should be 25. And since this is quite often React components are far longer than 25 lines. If you start to extract beyond, so you get down to that, you'll be in big trouble.
Yeah.
So I don't. So the good thing with CodeClimate is that you can actually tell him that I want to ignore certain rules.
Yeah.
And I see that our friend Robotic Head is with us. Long time no see. Been a while. I see that you are up and running on Twitch still. Glad to have you with us again. And if I'm not totally mistaken, Robotic Head is out of Australia, right? Working on some Python-ish stuff, but also React. And I know that we spoke about Cypress, so it's like a never-ending love story for me and Max with Cypress. Right, he confirmed Australia. Good stuff. Max, ever been to Australia?
Yeah. Yes, I have. I took the train from Sydney to Perth.
Oh, awesome.
It took 4 days, and there are only 2 stops, Sydney and Perth.
Really? Like, are we talking 4 days of constant moving on the train?
Yeah. Yeah, really? It stops to get water a few points because it's basically desert. But yeah, adventure time.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've been to Australia once, to Sydney and to Cairns. I had visited a few friends. Right, awesome. Yeah, it's a long train.
Yeah. Okay. Should we try to wrap up?
We can
by excluding the Cypress videos.
Exclude that. Of course, figure that one out. How to do that.
But here's a nice cheat. You can go to getignore.io, which will redirect you to TopTal because they bought getignore.io.
Well. But I was thinking that you could tell Cypress not to generate those videos.
Oh, I will do both. Are you kidding me?
Oh, of course. Sorry.
I'm just giving you a little freebie here that this generates a very nice results report, screenshots, videos, all stuff that you don't want. We'll give credit to TopTal because they are hosting this. So I'll put that in the getignore. Getignore. But as you say, we don't want to generate them at all. So let's go into our Cypress config.js, and here I think we can just say video and set it to false.
Okay.
And I mean, this is going to take a while, but I can run it again, and we'll see hopefully quickly enough that no videos are being generated, at which point I'll probably just kill this process, push it up, and have it run in the cloud.
Yeah, but still. In the meantime, while we are waiting for this one to run, future streams. Before we start wrapping up and talking about CI in general, but future streams, I'm thinking we need to do a deeper dive into Cypress 10, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely a thing. We recently touched upon page objects and Cypress commands with a few clients, and I think that could be an interesting thing, topic to spend some time on, to see if we can create a little more domain-specific expressions in our tests, simplify the test, or extract some of the functionality to either page objects or commands. I would not use commands and page object in the same setup, but I'm considering we could do a side-by-side comparison. That could be interesting. But one thing that we've been talking about, Max, Python.
Yeah.
Let's challenge ourselves to find a beginner-friendly tutorial and go through that tutorial and dissect it. You see, what I'm looking for here, I don't know if you agree, is like, I want to learn Python, but I also would like to see if we can pick somebody that tries to teach Python and see if they're doing a good enough or fair enough job in explaining stuff so even I can understand. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea. I mean, with the caveat that you have a bit of experience in the field, but I think it's a great idea. It sounds really fun. I guess then the content of the stream will kind of be determined a little bit by the goal of the tutorial. This is maybe a separate stream, but it would be cool to, start building, like set up an end goal, start building it, let people follow along, and I have some ideas in that department that you might like.
That
are simple,
like
and
build an app.
Yeah,
back and front end.
And it's the kind of thing that if it's an app that's ambitious enough, it's the kind of thing we could regurgitate, but in a good way. Like it's build it in Django, build it in Rails, build it in this and that, and as we go, when things get updated, then it's good to review it, especially if we've built it along and people can be extremely familiar with it. And it could be the kind of thing that has even payment functionality beyond user account creation. And then maybe because I feel like a lot of the tutorials that we'll run into are going to be like, well, fetch some data, send some data. But so I guess you and I have some homework. But if anyone wants to chime in and feel like, oh yeah, do the Next.js, but like, though Python is kind of the focus, I think, for the next few streams. Please let us know in the comments or however you let people know. And we'll scratch our heads and we'll take it from there.
Yep. Let's see where we are on those videos.
Well, I killed the process. Well, I didn't kill the process. I did, because video was set to false. So we're good to go, but don't take my word for it. This is public, so you can look at this. So I have to go back to employee list. I have to look at the last run, configure Cypress not to generate videos of runs. And you can go into the workflow. And and simply expand the yarn Cypress CY, and you will see that indeed video is false, and we are not, compressing or generating any videos. So this probably took less time than 1 minute and 12 seconds for this one. Can we compare it with the one prior? Well, it's not a huge difference, 1 minute, 28 seconds, but okay.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
It adds up. It adds up.
It
so
does.
It's good.
It does.
Yeah.
So let me.
Oh, wait, we forgot the most important part.
We did?
Now that you've done all of this work in CodeClimate, in your repo settings, you can get a badge.
Oh yeah, you can get a badge.
You can get a test coverage badge. So, go to Markdown, add it to your readme.md, put it on your GitHub repo, be proud of your achievements. Don't forget about the badge.
Yep. Let's not forget about the badge. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can get a Semaphore badge too, I think.
Yeah, add that to the README file and push it up. Let's see if we can.
Do we have a README file?
We should have a README file.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna put that at the top. Can I get a Semaphore badge? I don't remember. Let's look at the project settings. Do you have that? Yes. Look at that. We want this. Yeah. Like this, build pass, Semaphore custom badge. Wow. Let's do a custom one. All right. And that. And we'll do a little git status. And we'll do a git ci-am, adds badges to README. And I'll push that up. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
I also linked to our Nomads of Code, that's me and Max, the YouTube channel, where you can see all the previous videos and some other stuff. We're going to clean up that channel. We see a badge. We see a badge.
We see a badge, and this is in the process. They're useful because they're not just to brag. People can click on them and they'll get to the build that's happening. It's a really, there's actually good functionality. It's not just bragging or showing off.
Right.
All right.
Right. This particular repository, perhaps we should link to that as well. There are several branches here. I'm just going to send this out on Twitch. Right. So this is open source. So if you want to take a look at how we set up and instrument test coverage metrics, which was the previous stream, and now we set it up on continuous integration, we should be good on that.
Yeah.
That's great. If you're new to the channel and you want to have more tips and tricks on coding or talk tech, can we say that? Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah.
Let's talk tech.
Talk about it.
Remember to either follow us on Twitch or subscribe. So I think the follow button on Twitch is like on the side somewhere. I don't know where, but on YouTube you have to click on the subscribe down below, right? Is that what people are saying?
I think so. I don't know. I guess it depends on your screen, your viewport.
Yeah, I guess so. And we will be back with more React-ish thing. We're gonna do a little bit more of backend development. Python is interesting. As we said, it's gonna be a topic for us moving forward. And we're open to suggestions, of course. Open to suggestions. Right. You know what? I think in 50 seconds we are gonna hit the 45-minute threshold, which is
sweet spot.
The sweet spot. It's our first. We always aim to do 45 minutes, but we never actually succeed. And this is the first time we managed to stick to those 45 minutes.
Self-congratulatory chapeau.
Yeah. So I'm Thomas, and this is Max, and we're just two, coding guys, right?
Yep. Hacking away.
Thank you for tuning in. I see you guys. So long.